The power of the pause. Have you ever overreacted to something and regretted it later? Or maybe you feel like this by lunchtime because one thing after another gets on top of you. Whether you feel like you are barely surviving or you're on the road to thriving, the pause is a great exercise to add to your toolbox. So what is it? The pause is a simple mental pause where you rest your attention on one of your senses. The pause is only for a few seconds. And this is why it works. It turns out that it takes 6 seconds for the thinking part of the brain to catch up with the responses that are fired off from the emotional part of the brain. This means that it is easy to get carried away by emotions and act before you've had time to rationally consider the situation. The pause is a clever way to let your rational brain catch up to your emotional brain and make more balanced decisions. By training your brain to pause regularly, you strengthen your ability to regulate your emotions and recover from busyness. When your brain jumps from one thing to the next without any mental breaks, it can become overwhelmed. And just like when you are overcome with emotion, your ability to make balanced decisions suffers. In both cases, the pause helps you bring your whole brain to a situation. Rather than being a victim of your emotional reactions or your busy mind, you get the chance to make more conscious decisions about how you will respond. This is how to do the pause. Acknowledge the end of a task or a rising emotion. Say to yourself, time to pause. Direct your attention to one of your senses for the length of one breath in and out. Switch your attention fully to the next task or where it is most needed. So why not try to use the pause in some of these ways this week? Pause and listen to the phone ring for a few seconds before picking it up. Pause whenever you are interrupted in the middle of a task. Pause between meetings or interactions by feeling your feet touching the floor. When you feel yourself reacting strongly to something or someone else, pause by feeling your breath move in and out of your body for a few moments. Remember, it's a mental pause, not just a physical pause. Hear how the pause works for us and others. The power of the pause is great for me in the morning. I always do it before I leave the house, and inevitably, through clearing out my busy mind, things that I've forgotten or important detail I've missed comes to mind.
The power of the pause is great for me if I get interrupted in the middle of something. I take a moment to be conscious of the thing that I'm working on, setting it aside, and then turning to give my full attention to the interruption.
I use the pause before I go into a meeting. I connect with one of my senses and just pause and refocus myself, and then I get a better outcome from the meeting.
Pause itself for me actually makes me feel energised because you can get so focused on the one negative emotion that when I do pause and think, regroup, look at the needs of the situation, my needs, their needs, take deep breaths, I'm able to see the bigger picture much more clearly.
Don't just wait until you need the pause. Train your brain to use it regularly throughout the day. Then you'll find it easier to use it when you really need it.